Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about a video that went viral, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because a thing that I'm seeing on TikTok, and I know that this has been going on since basically the beginning of TikTok, or really the beginning of people sharing on the internet, I guess, but I feel like it's more dominant and prevalent with TikTok because from TikTok, it circulates to Twitter, which then circulates to Instagram, which then turns it into a fucking reel. So you can't escape is the deal. So there's this one TikTok where this guy was basically bitching out his long distance wife for calling him out. Now, I was not familiar with the concept of long distance marriages, which we'll get into later on. But also, the original videos have been wiped. So here I will be including the original footage, and I'm going to be cutting out someone else's commentary because I don't want to have someone else's commentary, my commentary, the footage messy. But I will link the video with commentary from this one content creator, which I think makes some really good points down below if you want to see her take. I should preface this by saying I, under basically no circumstances, think it's a good idea unless there's imminent danger or unless you really feel like you need to, which I know I have had to in the past with certain friendships. Unless you feel like you really need to say something to clear the air, usually putting things on the internet is not a good idea when it hits a certain level of privacy. And that's not me blaming anyone here because, again, do what you want. But let us not be surprised when it turns into a shit show. So this is the beginning of the video, just so you have enough time to read it. My favorite animal was me when my long distance relationship husband sent photos with a coworker when he won't even take pictures with me. So this is the only kind of bit of information we have from the original video, along with the long distance relationship husband's reaction. Right off the bat, if you're a person who doesn't like taking pictures, that's not abnormal. I know a lot of people like that. So that's understandable. I will say it's sketchy when people kind of hide their partners, because even if you don't like having pictures of yourself, there's no reason you can't have pictures of the person anywhere, especially in this digital age. I think it's a little, not necessarily automatically suspicious, but along with other shit, it becomes suspicious. Does that make sense?
Females just like go straight, like for the kill shot, okay, without understanding context or anything to do with the story. You just like, based on two pictures that she posted, I'm this bad evil human being. And somebody called me mid-tier. There's nothing mid about me, okay?
So at this point, it's become a notorious thing, right? That when there's a guy who's talking about women and he starts saying females, usually we're not going in a positive direction. And this is a context-based thing because just saying female isn't automatically the issue. It's the fact of most people who have relatively, in my opinion, normal takes will say men and women. Once it turns into females, it usually gets a little bit weird. A lot of the times it gets transphobic too. When there's females, there's a little bit of a red flag that's raised in my head, and so I feel like he kind of shot himself in the foot because certain people I feel like won't even watch beyond females. Oh, on the note of women going for the quote-unquote kill shot, I personally love that about women. That's like one of my favorite things about me, that I can go straight for the jugular, so I don't understand why that's a problem to begin with. And it's also like, if I have a kill shot, maybe ask yourself why I have a kill shot. Can we think about that? Because realistically, in a healthy relationship, there shouldn't be one thing I could say that completely destroys the relationship about your behavior. So if I can say something like, hey, you take pictures with all these other women and not me, and that to you is the kill shot, then we have a larger problem at hand to begin with. Every relationship has problems, but if it's, like the term suggests, a kill shot, it will end. It is murder. What are we doing here? So I also think it's interesting in all of this that he got really riled up about being called mid-tier, which in the context of all of this, I feel like should not really be your central worry, my guy. Someone saying that you're medium ugly shouldn't be concerning to you in the light of Your relationship seems to be going belly up. You're being accused of basically not loving your partner, not loving their appearance, not being attracted to them, not treating them with the due respect. All of these things that are rather important pillars in partnerships. Those are issues, but you're mad that someone called you mid and that's what you're directly responding to. Where are the priorities here? And I know that's a little bit nitpicky, but if you're gonna do a response, people will nitpick inevitably, right? Especially if you're already saying stupid shit from the get-go.
The thing that you guys don't understand is I'm autistic. I don't get these things. I did not ask for the photos. I was the one that was asked to have the photos with, right? So for me, I'm like, okay, they're just photos. There's nothing wrong with them. And then later down the track, she explains to me why they're bad. And I kind of get it. But also in the time, I don't know these things, bro. Like, people be hitting on me all the time and I don't even know. She has to tell me. What do you want me to do about it? Sorry, I'm autistic. I hope you guys feel bad.
Bro, don't blame your autism. You need to give the people reassurance that you'll never cheat.
Whether it's mental illnesses, whether it's being neurodivergent, all of that stuff, I think anyone knows that you can use that as part of your explanation to say, because of this, I did not realize, but I am still wrong. I am still wrong. That is the key thing. Because we've all seen the examples of like people being particularly bitchy or mean or rude or cruel because of depression, right? Depression can make you act in certain ways that actually aren't who you are, granted. But you're still the one acting that way, so you still need to take responsibility for it. So it really doesn't matter if I act like a total bitch towards you. It doesn't matter if it's my panic disorder, my anxiety, my depression, whoever's checking in for the day, if it's not all three. It does not at all matter, okay? So you can use that as your explanation later on, but the apology still has to happen and you don't get to blame whatever issue, in this case autism, for not understanding. At the end of the day, you do want to be autonomous, right? You do want to have your own agency to do your own thing. The thing about agency is that it comes with responsibility. So if you want the right to be your own person, do your own thing, make your own choices, that comes with responsibility for said choices. To turn it into a thing of like, oh, you're discriminating against me because I'm autistic, which is kind of the implication here, is absolutely laughable.
Why the fuck would I cheat? Why would I cheat?
Because you're a man?
If I wanted to cheat, I would have cheated. I've not cheated on you.
Okay, the whole cheating because you're a man thing, I don't know what the logic behind that statement is, so I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't think anyone's more or less of a cheater because of their gender. The whole comment of, if I wanted to cheat, I could have cheated, I didn't cheat. I find this whole behavior weird because it's not particularly comforting to anyone. Like, no one on the planet ever is going to be like, oh my god, you could have cheated, but you didn't. Thank you so much. Boyfriend, husband, whatever the fuck of the year. Nobody, absolutely nobody is gonna do that because realistically, that only kind of fuels the doubt of like, were you thinking about cheating but you just opted not to? Like, that is weird and you don't get a cookie for not cheating. The fact that they're doubting you and that they're believing that there's a possibility that you would do that, that's the real big issue. It's that it's believable to them. They live in a world where it's possible that you might be cheating on them, that you might be backstabbing them, whatever the fuck. Most, and I'm talking about typical monogamous relationships, people want to feel like that is impossible. Like that is not on this plane of existence.
Okay, what else do you have to say for yourself?
There's nothing mid about me. That's all I gotta say. There's nothing mid-tier about all of this, okay?
What about your...
I'm a freaking model. There's nothing mid-tier about me.
What about your social skills?
What social skills? I don't have any.
So I think it's evident to anyone watching this that he's not taking any of this seriously. I think I was in absolute shock when I first heard his long distance relationship wife chime in because I was like, oh shit, she's in the room while this is happening, which is insane to me. Just like the concept. Wow. Let alone when she comes on camera and I'm like, oh, okay, so wow, this really feels like I am in the middle of a conversation that I don't know if I should really be hearing, but aside from that, he's basically laughing all of this off. Your wife being hurt, humiliated maybe, a lot of other things, but surely hurt, should be the first thing on the list of to do, to take care of, to reassure, all of that. And you're focusing on being mid. And while this might seem haha, like funny, I guess, it's just so damaging. It's like watching a car crash happen, but like an emotional version of that. And it's crazy to me that he doesn't see how hurtful all of this was. And I'm sure that there are going to be people in the comments who are like, what's the big deal about the pictures? And the thing is, it doesn't really matter if we get it or not. I personally get it. But if we didn't get it, it's still something that bothers her. And that's also the point of relationships. You have to adapt to what bothers your partner. So if you can't do that, you really shouldn't be in a relationship. Or if you can't do that, you need to be transparent about not being able to do that. And I think that's the worst part here, is that he keeps seemingly missing the point and thinking that this is just about pictures on someone's phone or on social media. And it's not just the pictures, it's what the pictures mean. Because realistically, in my books anyway, if someone is with you, they're probably in some way gonna want to show you off. In a nice way, in a genuine way, of course, not in a trophy way, but whether it's posting about you saying, my girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, whatever, did this for me today, they got me this, here's a picture of us, here's a picture of her, here's a picture of him, whatever, they want to usually acknowledge your existence in some type of way. If they don't acknowledge your existence, but then there's this random coworker who asks them to take a picture together and then their existence is acknowledged, you understand why someone might be like, oh, is this about just me then? And I'm supposed to be a really important part of this person's life, and I don't feel like that right now. To me, it all adds up and makes sense. And the fact that he doesn't get it, I think, is the most alarming part, because it's like, what are you missing? Like, what context do you need to further understand that you're making someone feel basically insignificant? Anyway, I feel like I have spoken for long enough, God knows. So you guys can let me know what your opinions are down below. Do you think in the long run, people sharing this type of stuff online is detrimental? Because in one way, I think it can be cathartic, but I also feel like the timing is extremely important. Like if this were shared once the relationship was completely over, is a very different thing, obviously, than if this fight is still happening or something's ongoing. I don't know. Overall, I guess the internet scares me, so I try to be relatively private. And so when I see people sharing all of this, it does make me slightly concerned for how people are going to get involved. Like real parasocial shit, like finding them or mailing them shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm definitely a pessimist, so there's that. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.